What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 19 of the I-90 Sports Podcast. We got another packed show for you, and we have a special guest on board with us. As you can see from the two-tone blue and the logos, he is representing Titans Nation. Welcome to the show, TA. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? What's up, Beantown? Finally, we got together, get this collab going, and it's good to meet you, JD. Let's have some fun.
Good to meet you too, my man. Absolutely.
So let's just kind of dive right into it, man. This is a huge game we're going to jump right into the Titans and the Patriots matchup coming up. This is a massive, massive game with possible seeding implications down the line. This is big for both teams. You guys got to get back on the winning track. We got to try and do our best to keep it, to keep the momentum that we got rolling. And it's going to be a big game, man. Now I just want to ask you, TA, let's kind of take it back a little bit here. What are your thoughts on the Titans season so far as a whole? Just as a whole, outside of this game, what do you think of your boys so far this year?
Well, so far I can't complain. First place in the AFC. So right now everything's good. Before the season started, I predicted going 13-4, and we ran into a little speed bump called the injury bug. So we're limping into battle second half of the season. Luckily, I believe we have the easiest remaining schedule, I guess you can say, throughout the whole NFL. It's right up there. I believe it is first, though. And we'll see if that helps us out a little bit. But we're going in to your hometown, and we're going to try to beat you again. Undermanned, but no excuses. Next man up mentality, and hopefully we can put up a fight.
Most definitely. I think that, yeah, like that's that injury bug is tough, man. It's you kind of as an NFL team, and even as a fan, like you just like you see your team on a roll, and you just hope it doesn't get, you hope you go through a whole year and it doesn't get you. It's tough. But like you said, like the good teams, the real good, playoff championship caliber teams, it's like you just said, dude, it's next man up, and it's gotta fill those voids and just kind of keep it rolling. It's definitely gonna be, I don't, even as wounded as the Titans are coming across, into enemy territory and having to play in Gillette, I still don't think they're going to go without a fight. I think this is going to be a battle of a game. I think that Titan D is not going to make it easy on Mac Jones at all.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna have a chance in this game, we have to get pressure. Undermanned for sure. Injuries have completely taken over the Titans team, but we still have a lot of players. Jeffrey Simmons is playing at an all-time high. Still only 24 years old, and he's a problem, getting triple teamed in some cases and still getting sacks out of him, that situation. So, and then we also have, in my opinion, the best safety in football in Kevin Byard. 5 interceptions so far. He has a fumble return touchdown and an interception pick 6. So we've got guys who can still go out there and make plays.
But I was going to ask you about him too. But Byard has stepped up. I mean, he was starting to show signs at the end of last year that he was going to be really, really good. But this season he has really like elevated his game. He's definitely the cornerstone of that defensive backfield.
Oh yeah.
And he's elevated his game to a ridiculous level. It's not going to be easy against that. I think it's definitely not going to be easy. JD, you got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a tough game for the Titans because the Patriots are coming off of, well, it's at home for the Patriots for one, so that's nice. You'll have the crowd noise, with the Patriots. You'll have a rookie quarterback he'll be able to hear everything. And Ryan Tannehill's, he's a good quarterback. He's a veteran quarterback for sure. but he also doesn't have his guys like we've just alluded to. So it's going to be a tough game for the the Titans, but it's fully winnable. It's a fully winnable game. And the reason why I say that is because of that coach. You know what I mean? The coach knows the system. He understands Bill Belichick. So it is winnable. It's just going to be a tough game. So I don't know. What is the line on this game? Does anyone know?
I think it's 6.5.
It is 6.5. Yeah.
Patriots?
So they're saying touchdown separating the two. So close game.
I like the line for the Titans in that case. I think it's going to be a very close game. I really do. So that's my opinion. I think it's going to be a really close game, grind it out. I wonder what the weather's going to be like. That's another consideration.
So let me ask you, TA, like you do on your show, what are your keys to victory for the Titans to go in there and win this game? What do you think they got to do to beat the Pats?
Well, play a really good game. If I had to choose three things, you got to win the turnover battle. Being undermanned, we can't turn the ball over, make mistakes, and put you guys in situations where you're already close or in field goal range. That's going to be an issue for us. We've got to be able to get pressure on Mac Jones. That has to happen. We cannot allow him to just sit there and scope out the field and pick us apart one little throw at a time. Can't allow that. And I think the biggest one of them all, probably right there with the turnover situation, is you got to stop the run and make you guys one-dimensional. We have to make you not – I mean, we do well with that anyway, no matter who's in there. But we have to stop your run game and make you make third down and longs. And I think if we do these three things, our chances of actually winning this game go up.
I was absolutely – you like – because the Pats are going to go in there and they're going to the first thing they're going to try and do is establish that run game. And that's what they do. They go in there and that's been their MO this whole season. They establish the run, they run the clock down, they throw when they have to, and they just run teams out of time to beat them. And that's the definite that's a must, is you got to stop the run. How about defensively? How about what's that, JD?
I was saying, I agree. If you don't stop the run, the Patriots, especially the last 3 or 4 weeks, man, it's just been insane. Like the Patriots, their execution is ridiculous. So you gotta disrupt that.
The last 3 weeks, they're averaging almost 6 yards a carry for both running backs, Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. Almost 6 yards a carry for both of them. That run game's been a problem for people.
This late in the season, that is definitely scary.
All right, so I want to start off. I want to go back to TA here. So, what are your thoughts on Tannehill, TA? Has he kind of lived up to you guys' expectations this year, or are you? What are your kind of feelings on him so far? I know it's tough with the he's had to do. He hasn't had a lot of the injury bug has really not been helpful for him. But just overall, what do you think of Tannehill this year so far?
Well, like I like to say it like this, in the Tennessee Titans system with our players and weapons, I feel like when in our system, he's a top 10 quarterback when he has everything to work with. When he doesn't, he tends to do what he did in Miami, and that's force throws, not throw the ball away when he should, not even run when he should, stand in the pocket too long, take too many hits. And that's what he's been doing. I feel like he doesn't trust some of the younger receivers that are in there, some of the guys that are supposed to have his back on certain catches, and they're not doing that for him. They're not even getting open. They're not even running the right routes. So, it's easy to blame a quarterback because of the position, but I can't blame him that much. I mean, you take away King Henry, who was right up there again with breaking all the records, getting another 2,000 yard season, and he gets hurt, you lose him, boom, he's out. You've been dealing with Julio Jones and AJ Brown hurt all year, flip-flopping. They barely played this year. It's crazy. And now you've got guys like Nick Westbrook-Akeen. A lot of people don't even know who that is. Chester Rogers, a lot of people don't know who that is. And I can go on and on. It's just that people, Oh, and we lost Marcus Johnson for the rest of the year, who just had a 100-yard game, and then 2 games ago, and it's just like I said, the injury it's ridiculous, but I can't blame Tannehill completely. Obviously, you gotta. I mean, some of those throws last week, my God. I know 2 of the interceptions were Des Fitzpatrick's fault, did not run the right route, but the other 2 were atrocious, just bad forced throws, and you can't do that.
I was gonna say 2. You did kind of you took it from the 2 of them weren't really his fault because you could definitely tell Fitzpatrick he was like because you saw him on the sidelines trying to direct. They were going. You could tell they were going over that play, and it was like you ran the wrong. You could definitely tell he ran the wrong route. And then but the other 2, it's tough too. Like you touched on the trust thing. It's tough when you're playing down like that and you got to make a play to try and stay in the game. And it's like, it's forced, because he's trying to make that play to keep them in the game and not let it get out of hand. And it's just all that pressure. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
Well, to me, there's a reason why Tannehill wasn't, there's a reason why he took less money than some guys. You know what I mean? He's not like the uber super talented guy that's going to carry over the top, but he has a lot of talent. And when you take away the guys who you paid the money that he didn't get to when they're injured, it's kind of hard. You only have what's on your roster. So that is crazy. And I didn't even know that a guy ran for a couple hundred or another 100 yards and then he got injured too, man. The Titans are just, it's them and the Ravens are having the worst year when it comes to injuries, man. It's wild.
But yeah, both of those teams have been hit hard. I did just see that Johnson kid. What did he run for 100 yards 2 games ago, and then you lost him too, right?
Everybody's gone, man. It's crazy. Everybody's gone, man. It's I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen my team get injured before. I've seen many teams get injured before, but the fact that we're missing, what, close to 30 people.
I think it was like 20 when I looked at the injury report. They're like between like questionable and DNPs for the Titans. It was like 24.
It's somewhere up there, man. It's so bad. But to sit here at where we're at in first place, it's still pretty good, and we're 2.5 games ahead of the Colts. We swept them earlier when we had some of our guys healthy, so that half game could come back and help us.
But that just goes to show you too, like the like you said, it's a testament to the coaching and the players and just everything around it. Even though the starters have been out, it's that next man up mentality, and it's just been the coaching staff doing the best they can to just piece it together and keep that ship going in the right direction until you get those guys back. And, a lot of these guys are like JD was saying that then you had mentioned it too. It's just the way that system is set up, the way that they've designed it to run. And you just keep losing a piece here, a piece there. And it's been tough, but you guys have done it. You're 8-3 and you're sitting on top. So, it's just, that's a testament to the coaching staff this year.
Can I just say too, Tyrod Taylor was really good last week. he was very, he's just good. He's a good player. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm just kind of watching these highlights too. And I remember kind of watching a little bit on Red Zone, but man, he made some throws that are just like, really? I know he's good.
I mean, he's been an okay player in the NFL. He hasn't been that bad. And but if you look at what he did, he really didn't do that much. He got a couple he didn't throw for a lot of yards or anything like that. And a lot of our turnovers really gave them most of their points. So
and we the end zone was pretty.
No, that was good. He's always made plays in the NFL. He's had injury issues himself too. So
sure.
So I want to run down a couple of matchups with you, TA, and see what your thoughts are on them. So the first one being Tannehill versus the Patriots secondary. Because I know the Pats secondary has been playing. They started off shaky and just so a lot of the Pats secondary is young kids, and the Patriots run one of the most confusing defenses and offenses in the league. So I knew it was going to take a while, and I think they're finally starting to gel and come together. So I want to get your thoughts on that, the Tannehill versus that Pat's defensive secondary, and just his ability to like diagnose, coverage, like, because it's I think that's going to be definitely one of the key matchups this weekend.
Well, yeah, you guys, I mean, not even just the secondary, but you guys have been playing well everywhere. Like as the season has gone on, you guys have improved all over the place. It's crazy. But Tannehill against the secondary is going to be crazy because it's like our offensive line has been improving, and again, we're missing another player in our starting right guard, and Nate Davis. So we are really banged up. But I think if Tannehill doesn't force throws, like if it's not there, we have arguably the best punter in football in Brett Kern. Let him punt the ball. He'll pin you deep, make the Patriots go the whole field, but stop turning the ball over. If he forces throws, you're young, those young bloods over there, man, they're gonna feast. They're gonna feast, and you don't want to give Mac Jones and that offense, who's been so high powered as of recently and stuff, can't give him the ball in our territory to start. You can't do that. So we could take some chances on double moves. I know that your guys always are, trying to jump routes and stuff, but the thing is there's not much chemistry going on with the guys who are going to be playing at receiver. There's just not.
No, I 100% agree there's it's tough. It's tough. Like that's going to be tough. He's like you said, he can't force it. Like don't if it's not there, just you're gonna have to just throw it away. And like you said, if the Patriots are gonna get the ball back, make them go 85, 85, 80, 75. Make them go.
Yeah.
Make them have to go a distance to get points. Don't try not to put them in a scenario where they're at the Titans 30 and that's where they're starting their drive from. I 100% agree. Absolutely. JD, any thoughts?
Well, when we consider Tannehill versus the secondary, it's like, did he play good against them a few years ago? Sure, that was a little bit of a different squad. But yeah, I agree. You got to win the turnover battle. You got to be very conservative with the ball. You got to rely on guys who you wouldn't normally rely on, and you just got to wish for the best, because that's the thing. Like the Patriots are going to make you play left-handed. So, but here's the good thing though. I don't know if the Patriots really know what the Titans' strengths are. So that's something going forward, like to look at. You know what I mean? Because if these are second, third stringers coming in here, you don't necessarily know what your strengths are, and if the Titans can figure out something to kind of work out. What do you think? Let me ask you that, Titan TA. What do you think they're going? Like, what do you think the game plan is going to look like? Who do you think they're going to feature
in our offense?
Yeah, the Titans' offense.
It's just going to be by committee. We're still going to continue to run the football and do play action. We got Foreman and Hilliard, who recently just got signed, like officially. So and to be honest, they look like they were running a lot harder than AP was. Adrian Peterson just did not look like he was in football shape at all. And I saw him playing live at the Sunday night football game against the Rams. He had no explosion. It was crazy. But we're going to continue to run the football and play through play action. Guys are going to have to win their matchups. And we just got to luckily, Ryan Tannehill is a smart quarterback. He does read defenses really well. So hopefully at the line, if he spots something, he just change to even a screen. I feel like maybe we can slip in some screens here and there and use their pressure on certain, if he notices the pressure's coming from the left, make the screen go to the left, and use their pressure as an advantage. Lots of different things like that. But I do trust Tannehill. I think Tannehill can do enough to win, but just don't force anything, man. Just play smart.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, like, if they play smart, they have a good chance, because the Patriots aren't that explosive. I think the key for them, but that's not really have to do with that. But I think the key, like we talked about, is to stop the Patriots' run game. So I would say, as far as Tannehill in the secondary goes, just don't do anything too crazy.
Yeah, we actually did that with the Des Fitzpatrick. We threw he threw an interception to Des Fitzpatrick in the end zone when he didn't have. I believe it was first down, and he didn't even need to throw it up like that. It's like I think he forgot for a second that Julio and AJ wasn't playing at that moment. I don't know, but that was a throw he didn't need to make, and it cost us 7.
And let's be honest, dude. Like Tanny just he just had a bad game. Like it was in crappy weather. Just that they got down. They abandoned the run. They just abandoned it and asked him to do something that he's just not. Tannehill's not meant to throw a football 50 times a game, 40, 50 times a game. He's meant to kind of do what Mac Jones does, hit the throws when they need to hit them, and just be accurate and responsible with a football. And usually for most of the time, that's what he is. And then you mix in Derrick Henry. When you had Derrick Henry, you mix in King Henry and you just let him work. And the tandem between Tannehill being responsible with the football and the Henry run game usually wins you guys games. But like you said, it's just going to have to be running back by committee. I think one of the weak spots in the Patriots this year has been the middle of the field, like that 6 to 12-yard gap has been a little bit of an issue lately. The linebackers our cover linebackers have been doing. Uche and Josh Uche and Kyle Van Noy have been playing better, but it's still kind of a problem. So if I was the Titans and I was Tannehill, I would attack that area of the field. That's where I would go. I would try and attack that mid, that 12 to 18 or 12 to 6 to 12 yard area of the field. That's where I would try and go.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we don't even throw the ball deep anymore, barely at all. Like you don't see Tannehill taking deep 50-yard bombs ever, really ever. So I mean, maybe it'll work out to our advantage this time. But I think us not being able to with that, to use the long ball has really affected how teams are playing us. Like teams aren't scared because they know that we're not doing that anymore. So they're like, okay, well, we don't really need anybody that high. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
It has been affecting us, and we're not keeping people honest because it's like I said before, if we're not going to take shots deep or even, especially with the way they throw pass interferences nowadays, my God, it's been hurting us.
Yeah, no doubt. So that kind of leads me into my next matchup here. It's going to be, and we talked about it, you mentioned it briefly, the Titans run game versus the Patriots front seven. Can the Titans, or will the Titans stay with the run game and can it be effective against the Pats front seven?
I'll tell you what, whether it's working or not, we will run the ball. We will run the ball. We will do play action. That's just how it works. And that is why Tannehill is this quarterback, because he's fast. He does play action really good. He throws off the run really well, and he can throw the ball 65, 70 yards through the air. It's literally, he's built perfectly for what we do. The only problem is, no Derrick Henry. So
the only problem is we're missing our MVP caliber running back.
It's kind of a problem, but we are going to run the football. I don't like when Tannehill throws the ball 30 times. I like to keep it around 25. And I would really like to get as close to 30 carries as possible. Keep you guys off the field, keep our defense fresh, and keep the score close. These are huge things that need to happen. But yeah, we're going to run the ball for sure.
What do you think, JD?
I don't think they can run the ball. I'm just going to say, I don't think that. I'm watching this game. I mean, it seems like the only success they even had was throwing, and that's probably the reason why they threw 4 interceptions. But I hope you're right, because I want the Patriots to at least experience a little bit of pain this season. I mean, they're going to run over people, but I'm skeptical. I mean, without Derrick Henry, how good do you think is it a top 10 line, you think?
A top 10 what?
A top 10 offensive line.
Ours right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when we're healthy, we have we have ups and downs. There's been games like first game against the Cardinals, we gave up 5 sacks to Chandler Jones. I don't know if he's had one since, but
Yeah.
but it's so up and down. When we're clicking, we're definitely top 10. But there's times like even last week, Lawan was out of his mind, like in a bad way, missing blocks, just diving at people, missing, not blocking correctly. It's I don't know what it is. When we're blocking well, we're one of the better teams. But when we're just not feeling it, man, and it's either really good or really bad. It's never like, oh, they played okay. So
yeah, I like what High Life said in the chat just now. He says if the Titans were healthy, this would be a different story. I think that if the Titans were healthy, they'd probably run over about just about anybody.
I truly believe, like, no bias at all. I feel like if we're healthy, if we go into the playoffs with Bud Dupree, Derrick Henry, both of our receivers, David Long Jr., like all our quarterback, I don't think we're gonna lose. I really feel like we'll go to the Super Bowl. I truly, truly believe that. But I told people, if Derrick Henry's not back, I don't care if we have everyone else back. If Derrick Henry's not back, the Titans won't make the Super Bowl. There's no way. No way.
That's fair. That's unbiased right there. That's, I mean, a lot of fans be like, "Oh, we'll figure out a way."
Henry adds a different dude. Henry adds a different. Yeah, that's the best. He's a special player. It's a it's a generational running back. I never in my life have I seen a dude who weighs 240 plus and can move and run the way that guy runs. It's ridiculous. He should not be that fast. He shouldn't be able to do the things he does.
Yeah, that, like his top speed is once he gets going, it's impressive. And then if you try to tackle him, he just stiff arms you. So it's kind of strange.
Dude, he stiff arms people into different dimensions.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Super strong, super fast. He honestly, you talk about Adrian Peterson, he just got cut. That what do you call him? Derrick Henry reminds me of Adrian Peterson in like 2007. That's the only comparison I have. Just bulldozing over people. Maybe even Marshawn Lynch. I'm not sure. He definitely is. He's in that situation. He's in that category. He's an all-timer.
All right, and now another. So the next matchup that I had that I think is going to be key to this one, TA, is Patriots wide receivers versus the Titans secondary. And I do think the Titans secondary is very good. That's going to be tough because if Matt can have all the time in the world, but if there's nobody to throw to, it's going to be an issue.
Man, I just feel like our defense, especially since Christian Fulton came back, Janoris Jenkins has been up and down, but I mean, overall, he's playing okay. I'm not really worried about the Patriots offense hurting us too much. I don't think that they can go out there and put up a lot of points on us or anything like that. I just think that because of our lack of offense, I think that's going to be the biggest thing. And that's why, like I said before, I have Patriots winning by 10. Hopefully it doesn't happen like that, but with your guys' offense and how you guys like to do the quick throws and stuff like that, you guys play really smart, using the backside of the backfield out in the flats, all types of stuff like that. You got to be really careful with that. As long as we, like Kevin Byard says, you're not going to have an 80-yard touchdown on us. If you're going to beat us, you're going to have to do long drives. You're going to have to beat us throwing the ball in front of us. And then when you get down in the red zone, force you to kick field goals. But we're going to have to stop the backs first. I think that's the biggest threat, is just stop the backs from just anything. If you shut down the backs, the running, the screens, the easy throws within the first 5 yards, and we have a bad problem of playing off too far. We love to play off far. It's ridiculous. So if we keep up, play some press, and don't allow the quick throws, that's going to be our best bet. Because right now, like it's the versatility of your Patriot offense right now is crazy. You guys are doing a little bit of everything, and that's going to be a problem. We can't play too far off, otherwise you guys are going to just slowly pick us apart.
What do you think, JD?
To me, that's the only way that the Titans will win this game. They have to absolutely dominate the Patriots receivers, because the Patriots receivers are absolutely That's one of their worst. That's probably their weakness. If they had a weakness, which I don't think they're, I don't think the Patriots have like a one clear, gaping weakness. But I think that one that their wide receivers have average to below average and at best above average talent. No stars, no over the top guys, nobody that really demands that much pressure. So if you can stop the run and then kind of disrupt the pass game, you'll keep the score low. And that is the best chance the Titans have, in my opinion. Like if their running game gets off based on what we've seen the last few weeks, it's over. It's completely over. If they're averaging like even 4.5 to 5 yards a carry, that's a wrap. The Patriots that's one of those things. They're like a snowball team. They just keep on, they just run you right over.
It's very like this is very similar to it's the same scenario with Mac Jones as it is Tom Brady. You have got to, because he's a timing. His accurate. It's a timing thing, right? So that offense is a timing offense. The Titans have got to knock him off his spot. They got to knock him off his spot so he's out of rhythm with those receivers. The team to do it best to the Patriots this year was the Chargers. They made Mac Jones really uncomfortable in that whole first half until the Patriots figured it out and they readjusted and they started going with a lot more hurry up style offense and they made their adjustments at the half, but the Chargers did it and they knocked Jones off. If the Titans front seven can knock Mac off his spot and make him uncomfortable back there, it's going to be a close. I'm still putting it a touchdown game. It's going to be a close game, but that's what they got to do. The Titans have got to, those DBs have got to hold for long enough for that front seven to see if they can get to Mac Jones.
Yeah, I agree. You can't let Mac Jones sit there either. Like if you're not getting any pressure on him, he's going to pick you apart. It's just that's what he likes to do. He wants to sit there and just read all of his options and just kill you. So we got to get pressure, man. We got to. And if we don't, it's going to be a long day.
All right, TA. So give me three. So let's go three things. Three on each. So on offense, three guys who are gonna be the guys that they're the X factors. Three guys on offense that you think are gonna be the reason why the Titans are gonna be successful against the Pats, and then we'll move on to the D.
Well, on offense, it's I know a lot of people. And this is probably an underrated pick. It's got to be Taylor Lewan holding that blind side for Ryan Tannehill after a poor game last game. He needs to get in there and hold the spot. Tannehill, like I said earlier, he has a problem with not throwing the ball away. He likes to sit in there and credit to him. Sometimes, if you think about it, like he doesn't want to throw it away. He wants to stand there as long as he can, trust his guys, and give him an extra second or two to throw. But Taylor Lewan needs to step up and play well. And then second would be Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill has to stop forcing throws. Understand that the defense is still good, and we have a great punter. Let's make you guys earn touchdowns, earn the points instead of just handing you it. You know what I'm saying? Like already in our territory, we cannot allow that at all. And then I'm just going to put all the whatever receivers left we have in one box. They need to go out there and catch the ball, run the right routes, and just create some separation. Tannehill will find you. So I mean, I just think that it's going to be by committee. Like it's got to be all the receivers working as one to try to help, because man, missing AJ Brown and Julio Jones in a game like this with this much on the line, they're going to need to step up.
AJ Brown's the big one to me. When I saw that he was going to not play, I was like, oh man, that's tough. That's tough. Because Julio was one thing, he was the guy that backed people up and kept, you could, that's the guy that you had to respect on the long. But AJ Brown was the guy that you knew you had to like. That was the guy. He was the go-to guy for those third down throws. He was Tannehill's go-to guy. So without him, that's tough, man. That's tough. What do you think, JD?
I think it's like it goes back to like who, like, with everyone being injured, it's like who can you rely on? I think last week they have a lot of things to like. They have a lot of things to tell those guys. They're like, hey, okay, this time, here's what we're going to do against the Patriots because the Patriots are doing X, Y, and Z. And I think that this game, the Titans will look a lot differently. I think they're well coached. So I think it won't be the same Titans as last week. I just think that I think it will be a tough game. I think they're going to come in and stop the Patriots' momentum a little bit because this team is 8-2, and it's not like this team has given up. You know what I mean? They are definitely like they sniffed the playoffs.
8-3.
8-3. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yeah, 8-3. My bad. They just lost it.
About to be 8-4.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They sniffed that success and they want it still. So that's my opinion. I think that they're down, but they're not out. That's the way I see it.
I said it at the start of this stream. I said it at the start of this thing, and even when we were talking off camera, they're not going to go easy. If you think the Titans are just going to walk into Gillette and lay down, that ain't going to happen. That defense is that the D is still there. It's and that attitude. Vrabel's not one to just back down from old Billy Boy. He look him right in the eye, and he's see. Here's the thing too, right? Before we get into the defensive side of things, Vrabel, a lot of teams that come into Gillette, it's the Patriot mystique, and a lot of teams, in the fourth quarter piss down their leg and they just can't handle it. Vrabel's not one of those coaches. He's going to look across and see Bill Belichick, and it's just going to be another coach to him. He knows him. He knows him. He knows, and Vrabel's just. I've always liked, even when he played for the Patriots, he's the guy. The attitude. It's just he ain't afraid of nobody, and he's going to have that team. The whole team, offense and defense, play him. Not like they're not going to be afraid and pull the whole Patriot mystique thing. Like Vrabel's going to have them on their game. It doesn't matter who's playing. He's going to have them on their game.
I think I just think coming off of such a game like that, like they're definitely not like their mentality is going to be a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like you just lost to a team that's probably like a bottom 5 team. You're going to be looking like, all right, we need to reestablish ourselves. So I think the mentality, Vrabel's going to come have those guys prepared mentally. Yeah,
no, it's absolutely going to be, they're going to come in and look for a bounce back game. They're going to look for a bounce to bounce back and get back on the right track. For me, the offensive side, it's going to be, so Mac has got to play well. He can't, he can't force the ball. If it ain't there, be responsible with, throw it out, take the sack, live to fight another series. So my guys for the Pats offense would be Mac Jones. We have got to get Hunter Henry involved. That Hunter Henry Mac Jones connection is growing every week. They get better and better and better. So we have got to make sure that Hunter sees his targets. And then I'm going to lump Harris and Ramondre Stevenson in together. They have got to continue that role with running the football. Those are going to be my guys on the offensive side that have to step up. TA. So for the defensive side of the football, give me 3 guys who you're looking to have a good game on that side.
Well, I got to go with the guy that, is the middle of the bunch in the front, man. Big Jeffrey Simmons, Big Jeff. He's playing at an all-pro level this year. And I think that he's the anchor. He's going to be able to create that force, that push that we're going to have to dominate down low, commanding double teams all over the place. Harold Landry is having a career year. Danico Autry from the Colts is still there also. So it's not like obviously we're missing guys, but we still have a lot of players who can play. So Big Jeff is one. Obviously number 2, you got Kevin Byard out there kind of patrolling the skies, making sure no footballs go over his head, or if any of our guys on the outsides need a little bit of help, he's there. Kevin Byard will be there. And I think third, it's got to be Jeffrey Simmons' little partner in crime, Danico Autry. Those two have to contain that front middle, create push, and force everybody to play better around them. You get that push down in the middle, it's going to help create one-on-ones on the outside and just dominate and close up the holes on the running plays. It's going to start up front, and it starts with Danico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons.
Seriously?
What is that, a cow?
It's a 21.5-pound cat. Hey.
So yes.
Yeah, so yes, a cow, yes.
So yes.
So let's do this. TA, if you were coaching the Titans, how would you attack the Patriots? While we get ready to wind it down here. So if you were coaching the Titans, how would you attack on offense and on defense? We'll start with the O side of the offensive side of things.
The offensive side of things, I would just be more creative. I wouldn't just start it off like we always do, run play right up the middle. No, don't do that. I would start off with a quick screen or something like that, a delayed screen, to do a play action and take a deep shot to somebody who, who's one-on-one. Give somebody a chance, as long as it's a throw where it's not like you're just forcing it up. I want to see chances taken, but smart chances, not no double team throws, nothing like that. And we got to keep you guys guessing. I think that's what needs to happen. Obviously, continue to run the football and play through play action. That's not going to change no matter who we're playing. But we need to incorporate more trickery, more magical plays, and you guys are going to stack the box. I know it's coming. You're going to bring blitzes. You got to take advantages. Nobody on the Patriots is worried about a one-on-one deep shot. So maybe there's an opportunity there. We'll see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're gonna, exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna, on the defensive side, they're gonna try and make you guys one-dimensional. Guess what? You don't get to run the ball, Tennessee. You're gonna have to beat us through that's what they're gonna do. Or at least they're gonna try to.
You talked about over-the-top matchups. Brown is a killer. Like losing him. Who is your matchup guy then? If you're gonna go over, like if you want to throw over the top, who's your matchup guy?
Well, we have Chester Rogers, who's really fast, really quick, but he's not really an outside guy. He's in the slot, but he's not scared to run from the slot and do go routes. So that's somebody. We got Nick Westbrook-Akini, who's around 6'4", big guy, big catch radius. And then a lot of people like Des Fitzpatrick in college. That's what he's known for, is the big play. He loved going deep. That's one of his specialties coming out of college. And he actually did get a touchdown last week, which was pretty cool. Lots of mistakes, obviously, but he didn't have much playing time. I think now, I guarantee you they're working with him all week on all types of stuff, including the playbook. So Des Fitzpatrick is somebody who also likes to go deep, that has a very great ability in doing so. So we have options. Obviously, it's nothing that I'm going to sit here and feel too confident about. But yeah, we can do it, I believe.
JD,
interesting then.
Thoughts?
Yeah, that's my thoughts are simply that, it's going to be interesting. Somebody's got to step up for the Titans. That's all I can say, especially with Brown being hurt. I keep watching just their plays from last week. And, Brown was just such an instrumental part of that. And it's just to lose him as well is like, damn, man, that is going to be really tough. But you do got a lot of guys, a lot of talent. So it'll be a very, very interesting game. That's all I can say. I can't wait for it, to be honest with you. I'll be watching that.
That kid Rogers does worry me. To be honest, TA, he can fly, dude. He can fly. He's got
very
some speed.
Quick. He's got good change of pace. Like Dante Hall style. Obviously, nobody's Dante Hall, but he's very good at cutting back and forth. I gave a poor example, but yeah, he's very good. And inside the slot where you've got a lot of room to work, that's why he likes it there. But he does have enough speed to get over the top from the slot area. And like I said, man, maybe take a chance. If you see one-on-one there, tell him to go get it, because you guys are going to be loaded in the box damn near every play. It's coming.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was going to say, actually.
So my thinking is they're going to bring Kyle Duggar, the safety, down to help with the run and leave. They're almost going to play cover one the whole game. They're going to play cover one the whole game and just kind of man it up. with Duggar helping out, down inside the box to help out with the run, which is it's going to be, I got a feeling it's going to be one of those tractor pull kind of games where it's just going to be knock down, drag them, just drag them out, I don't think it's going to be a pretty game. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game. I think it's going to be, just a tractor pull. That would be my description of it. So once again, though, I put TA's link in the chat, guys. He does a lot of what we do here. TA, so you are a Tennessee Titans fan, a Golden State Warrior fan, right? What do you cover? Anything else or?
It's over there. No, football and basketball is my main. Actually, football, basketball, and MMA. I'm a big MMA mark, UFC specifically. To be honest, you give me some Colby Covington. You give John Jones. John Jones is somebody I really hope comes back, man. But yeah, there's a lot of fighters, man. And actually, my favorite fighter is Valentina Shevchenko over anyone. I'm a big fan.
Really?
I love the Bullet, man. She's unbelievable. So yeah, football, basketball, and MMA. I don't really cover MMA. I'm starting to incorporate basketball a little bit, but my wife right now is actually pregnant. So I'm kind of.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. Another boy, man. So
little TA, future Titan fan on the way.
Oh man,
what's your favorite team? Your basketball team. Curious.
Warriors.
Golden State.
Right
Yeah. I'm a California kid, man.
Right on. Well, we were just talking about in the chat. Steph Curry's. We'll probably talk about that in a little bit. Man, he's unbelievable. So.
Oh yeah, sure. I actually have the Curry 3s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s. I'm a basketball player. A lot of people.
I got Damian's.
Yeah, my little brother likes him. A little off topic, but yeah, I love basketball, man. Football is my main, but basketball is it's 1A, 1B.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure. Oh yeah, man.
So let's wind it down here, guys. Let's do some final thoughts. JD, we'll start out with you. So final thoughts on the Patriots and the Titans.
Man, I've touched on it a lot. I would just say that, this is going to be like I said, it's going to be a grind out game, man. I really do believe that. I think that this is going to be a coaching matchup, especially since these teams don't have, and it's no offense to you guys. Obviously, I know you don't take any, but there's no overwhelming talent on the field. There's not one guy I can say, okay, that guy's going to take over the game. Not on the Patriots, and not on, maybe Damian Harris, potentially. Maybe one of the Patriots running backs. We'll see how they execute. But I'm saying there's not one guy that I'm like, all right, he's going to take over the game. So also I'm looking at it from Belichick's perspective. There's not one guy that Belichick's going to try to take away from the Titans. That makes me think that Vrabel's going to try to confuse his ass. So when I think about that, I'm like, well, not even Vrabel, but you know what I mean, the offensive coordinator and all that stuff. So I think it could go anyway. The first 2.5 quarters, I feel like are going to be really unorthodox, and then we'll start to see what game it is after the middle of the third quarter. I'd say that's what it's going to be unpredictable. I think that's my opinion. You said a 6-point favorite for the Patriots,
6.5. Yeah,
I like the Titans on that line. Dude. I'm betting Titans if you give me the points. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be a 3-point game. So that's my final thoughts. I think it's going to be a real close one.
Side note: fire JD after the stream.
Oh man, I know how it is, brother. But I was wrong.
I know you do.
I didn't think they'd be that good. I'll give you that.
Because dude, I'm in the same boat. Final thoughts are: this is going to be a tractor pull of a game. It's going to be knock down, drag them out. It's going to be a touchdown. I think the Titans D is what's going to hold them in it. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is Mikey V 2-0 against the Pats?
I saw someone post that. I saw someone say something about. I think
is he 2-0 versus the Patriots?
I know he hasn't. I don't think he's lost to them. It may be. It may be. I don't think he's ever lost to the Patriots.
That's what I mean. I think he's 2-0. So, but that just goes to show what I was. He's not that Patriot mystique is not gonna that whole I just don't see that happening with that team. He's too good of a coach for that.
He's part of that Patriot mystique. He's got the hardware, so it's it's nothing to him. He's just going home.
Yeah, no, but he and that mentality permeates through the team too. Like guys like we don't have to be afraid. No fear. No fear.
Yeah, they beat him in a playoff game a couple years ago. So, I mean, that was with Derrick Henry though. So that I don't know, man. This is going to be tough though. I got the Patriots winning the game, but I got the Titans with point.
So, final thoughts here. This is gonna be won or lost in the trenches. Can the Titans front seven contain the run? If they can contain the run, it's going to be real interesting. This is good. This is going to be a game of the trenches. Whoever wins that battle at the line of scrimmage is going to win this game. I'm going to take my Patriots, but not it. I'm going to take them 27-20, 27-20, 24-20. Very, very close game, but that's my final score prediction there. TA, your boys, final thoughts on the Pats and the Titans coming up. Big game for both teams. Going to be a good one. What do you think, brother?
First of all, are you going to be live for the game?
I am.
Yeah, me too. I got to make the link. Yeah, it's a game where like I said on Twitter, this is a game the Tennessee Titans should not win. If you look at everything that's going on with our team, and I know everyone's injured, but if you actually look at the Titans, we're really injured. It's really bad. And this is a game we shouldn't win. I have us losing by 10. I thought we were gonna win every game. I always predict we're gonna win. Well, I predicted 13-4 for the season for the Titans, but this is a game, like I said, we should not win. I don't know. I don't think either team's going to score 30. So let's just say 27-17, Titans lose. Obviously, I hope we win. Anything can happen. But I agree with Beantown, man. If our front seven can create pressure and cause some turnovers, the Tennessee Titans can win this game. We could fight back, and anything's possible. But it's going to be a situation where if we allow Mac Jones to just sit there, it could be a long day for two-tone blue, man. So Titans lose by 10. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully, we can keep that undefeated streak for Vrabel 3-0 and continue being at the top of the AFC and try to get healthier.
So I just brought your injury report, the confirmed injury report up for this week. 15 are on it so far. 15 confirmed.
So like 20% of your team. That's tough. That's real tough.
Yeah, and they're all important players.
This isn't like third. This isn't like a third string left guard. No, this is like starting wide receivers and offensive linemen and these are guys that matter.
Yeah,
but tough sledding, man. It's like I said, this is a big game for both, and it's Titans got to they got a tough game ahead of them. But JD, like I said, TA before, we're gonna move on to some basketball topics. If you like I said, you tell me when you got to go and you can dip out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get ready and head out. I just wanted to say a few things before I leave.
Go for it, brother.
I just want to thank you guys. It was nice to meet you, JD.
Dude, it's nice to meet you too. You're a really interesting guy. I got you followed and sub now, my man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, but I appreciate your guys' time. It was cool finally collabing with you, Beantown. Good luck to your team. And I hope you guys do really bad. I'm just gonna be honest.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
But I'll tell you what, man. How about we do this? After the game, we'll figure out when you come on my show and we do a post-game talk. It could be any day. It don't matter. It don't have to be right after or anything like that. But let's do that. Win, lose, or draw. No, if they draw, we ain't talking. No, win, lose, or draw, man. You come on and we talk about the game, man. How about that?
I'm down. Absolutely, brother. I am down. We will absolutely work that out. Count on it.
All right, man. JD, you're welcome anytime, man. Just let me know. And I appreciate you guys, all the people in the chat. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button for Beantown, man. He's always putting out really good content for you guys, man. And as a content creator myself, man, it's not as easy as just turning your computer on and your camera and talking. There's a lot that goes into it. Even thumbnails, like there's so much stuff, timing, and at least speaking for myself, man. We do this because we love our teams. We love interactions with you guys, and you can't really put a price on that. So, yeah, man, make sure you guys continue to support Beantown and the I-90 Sports Podcast, and we'll definitely catch up, man. So thank you guys. Appreciate you guys, and always remember, tighten up.
Cyclops strong.
Bear down. No, you gotta bear down.
Cyclops strong,
man. Cyclops strong. I like that. That's even better, man. I'm gonna use that one. Oh man. Hey, thank you for having me on, buddy. I'll be seeing you.
Absolutely, but good luck and take it easy, brother.
Hey, thanks, Titan Anderson.
We'll see you. Tighten up.
Congratulations again, brother.
Oh, thank you. All right, you guys.
Take it easy, TA. Congrats on the little one, and have a good one, brother.
He's awesome.
So he's a good dude. I like TA a lot. That is a good dude right there. So JD, let's kind of move into let's switch it over to some basketball to football, from football to basketball now.
Right on.
And you had asked me that you had sent me something about an interesting trade that could go down in the NBA, and it shows that the Lakers might have made a massive mistake. I'll let you have the floor and kind of explain things, let's talk about this. And did the Lakers or did not the LA Lakers make a massive mistake? So I'll let you take the floor. It's all you.
So let's back it up. Back it up. So like I did say, and this was optimism a long time ago, saying that, okay, LeBron James, he wanted Russell Westbrook on the team so he could kind of relax sometimes and kind of just take the weight off his shoulder and everything. It's been an absolute disaster. Can we acknowledge this? Let me pull up the Lakers record. Last I knew, they were losing to some really bad teams, but the Lakers are not. They don't look. They just forget their record. Honestly, they just don't look good. They do not look like a good team. I don't even like talking about the Lakers because they kind of make me sick. I just don't like talking about them. And the one thing I will say,
I don't like talking about that icky purple and gold either. So we're good on that one.
And when it was Kobe, it was tolerable, but now it's not Kobe. It's just this over bloatedly hyped team that the media just constantly just talks about all the time. They're 10-11. They're sub 500 with Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, a top 10 scorer of all time in Carmelo Anthony, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in Dwight Howard, and LeBron James. Now, granted, LeBron James has been hurt about 10 games. So, he had an amazing game against the Pacers the other night. It's neither here nor there. But the trade you're referring to, right, is basically that the Lakers are trying to get rid of Russell Westbrook now. So they traded all these things. We need a star, man. We need star power. We're the Lakers, man. The media is going to talk about us all day and every day, and every single. You should basically just give us like every star you have for a second round pick. That's the Lakers fans. It's so annoying. Like it really. I hate the Lakers. Like fans and the media. It's a bunch of nonsense. But this trade takes the cake right here. This one, man, right here. So John Wall will not play for the Rockets. He will not play for the Rockets. And there's a rumor coming out that Russell Westbrook and him, they might just straight up swap. They might just swap Russell Westbrook for John Wall. And, man, that would be the ultimate just like F you to the rest of the league. Because John Wall would be absolutely perfect with the Lakers. He would be absolutely perfect. And it's just sad, man. It's just sad. Like the Lakers pretty much get whatever they want. The league just lets it go. Because it's LeBron. And what do you think about that, Lee? What if they really pulled that off, man? What if they really did John Wall for Russell Westbrook? Wouldn't that, like, make you kind of just hurl a little bit? I don't know. That's just how I feel.
No, you hit it right on the head though, because John Wall would fit perfectly in the way the LA Lakers run that system. He would. Now, the question is, would they or could they pull that trade off? Would I don't know too much about Westbrook's contract with the Lakers. I'm fully admitting that I don't know too much about his contract. But that would
I'm looking at his numbers.
What was that?
I'm looking at Westbrook's numbers. He's got almost 5 turnovers a game with the Lakers.
See, I think that's a massive. I think that's a huge reason to why they want to get rid of him in the first place. They're realizing that because they're trying to run the offense through him, and it's just not working. It's just not working at all.
It's absolutely terrible, and just the fact that Anthony, like Carmelo Anthony, is the most efficient player on the team right now. That's terrible. Like, where is Anthony Davis? Like, does he even exist anymore, or is he got his ring now and his money, so he just doesn't care? Is that what this is? Like, that's what it looks like to me. So I don't know. I think the Lakers are crap. I think that like the media loves them so much, and it annoys me that that John Wall, he like won't even play for the Rockets. Like, he won't even step on the floor to play because he's scared of getting hurt or something, and he wants to go to the Lakers. It's like, man, this is ridiculous. Like, you're making a mockery of the NBA, in my opinion.
Is he straight up refusing to play? Yes. Is that what it is?
He will not play. He will not play, and the Rockets are okay with it, and they just want to like trade him basically.
But see, to me, that's more on the Rockets than anything, because you signed a contract, like you're there. You know what I mean? Like that's your employer. You can't just be like, no, I don't feel like working today. No, that's not how this works. That's to me, that's more of a Houston Rockets problem than it is a John Wall problem, because the Rockets got to go to him and be like, dude, you're here. Like,
we're paying your money.
Like, you're here. You're gonna play, or we're not gonna pay you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, the NBA has become. I mean, we're going to talk about the Ben Simmons situation, I'm sure, but like, this is kind of like these guys now are basically saying, "Well, I don't feel like playing anymore, therefore I'm not going to." And I understand John Wall a little bit more than Ben Simmons, because Ben Simmons is just a little child and he's just being a baby. But like John Wall, he is looking at it like, okay, I only have maybe like 4 years left of being like a good NBA player. I want to spend my time with a contender, not waste my legs on the Rockets and stuff, which I half understand. I understand like the mentality, but I still think it's bogus. If they're paying you millions of dollars to play basketball, you should be playing basketball, period. There shouldn't be just like, oh, well, no, I don't like this team. Nah, fuck that. You like, no, get in there and play. You're a basketball player, play. Like, it's so stupid. But at the same time, it's like, if the Lakers were that lucky that they literally traded Westbrook, who is decimating their chemistry basically, because that's what he does in his later years, because he's much less of a raw talent and much more of a raw talent still in his like 33rd years of age, which is pretty crazy. So it's just somebody said Melo was carrying the fucking yeah, exactly. The Melo is carrying the Lakers. Like, somebody said it in the chat, like Melo is actually the one playing well in the Lakers. That's nuts to me. Like, he is so fallen off, and he's doing better than Russell Westbrook, who's supposed to make $40 million a year. Melo makes nothing. That's what I'm trying to get at, I guess. I'm saying it badly. But my point is that, like, he's making like 10 times more than guys who are producing way more. And it's just like, yeah, Westbrook is not good. And if the Lakers were able to pull off a John Wall trade for Westbrook, I would just be like, dude, like, they get everything they want because ESPN. Seriously, like, if they did that and LeBron won a title with John Wall and all these other guys, I wouldn't even count that title. The title is as worthless as the Ray Allen title to me. Like, that's how I see it, and that's kind of my rant for the day. It's like, that title would mean nothing to me because you just basically got out of all of your crap, and then you got John Wall, an elite point guard. Now, obviously, he might get hurt again, but that's not the point. The point is F the Lakers. That's the damn point. So that's my rant for the day.
But so to kind of like, just to hit on the Lakers stuff for a little bit here, we talk about this on a few episodes prior about the age and the chemistry and just the problems that that team could run into this season with the age and just the all of the the age, and two the egos that have to coexist on one team, you know.
Yes.
Like we how many episodes, like we've talked about it on multiple episodes here, that those two issues could ultimately derail this team.
And I think it's kind of pathetic. I actually think it's pathetic because you have a team that has nothing but Hall of Famers. Hall of Famers. Rajon Rondo is a Hall of Famer. Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer. Carmelo Anthony is a Hall of Famer. Russell Westbrook is a Hall of Famer. Anthony Davis is a Hall of Famer. LeBron James is a Hall of Famer. And you have all these chemistry issues? It's like, didn't half of you play in the Olympics together? What is this? So, I mean, I think the Lakers are washed. I think Westbrook was the final, like getting Russell Westbrook was the stupidest thing they could ever do, because now what little chemistry they had is gone. And they're not going to even make the playoffs. I'm going to say it right now. I'm calling it right now. You heard it here first on episode 19 of the I-90 podcast. The LA Lakers will not make the playoffs. Mark my word.
And honestly, it would have sounded like a hot take to me at the beginning of the season.
Fair enough.
But you know what I mean? No, but here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It would have been a hot take to me at the beginning of the season, but watching how the chemistry, how it's been so far, and we're really not that far into the season. What are we, 21, 22 games in, you know, at the most?
Not even that far.
You know what I mean? And we're already starting to see like the massive cracks and separation and like voids in that team. It's
the
not
Kings
good.
and the Timberwolves look better than them. The Kings. Like, what? You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, how? So, I mean, and I get they're young and they're rising and stuff like that. I'm not trying to disrespect the Kings. But, like, historically speaking, if you would have told me that the Kings and the Timberwolves were beating LeBron James, or LeBron James-led team, like, in the standings, I would have been shocked. I mean, again, you're right.
I would have probably laughed at you. Yeah.
But they look way better, and they look like they have a much better chance at the 8th seed or even the fifth to 8th seed than the Lakers do. I mean, things can change in the NBA season pretty fast. Like, for instance, the Hawks played really bad for a couple games, and then now they're on like a 10-game winning streak. But at the same time, this team, like I said, I know 6 Hall of Famers, and you're struggling against this many teams. I'm just saying, I think this team is washed. I think that's the word. They are washed. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the Lakers, because I don't even want to talk about them that much. But if they pulled off this John Wall trade and then things started to turn on, I would literally vomit. I would throw up in my mouth, because it's just like,
yeah,
it's typical. That's what the Lakers get. I don't know. They just always get everything. So
yeah, no doubt. So let's go from the Lakers, and let's go a little farther east and make a stop in the Windy City. We'll jump back on the Pike and head down into head east into Chicago from LA.
yeah.
Let's talk about the Bulls' blowout win against the Orlando Magic. They absolutely took this team apart. 123 to 88. It was not even close. There's a couple of things I wanted to get your thoughts on. We had touched on a few of them. Before. And it's one of them is really starting to come together. The Chicago Bulls bench is really starting to contribute now. They started slow in the season. They started kind of slow to, when the season began, but 35 Kobe White, 35 points off the bench.
Unbelievable. I mean, you look at this, it's like the Bulls finally have something that a lot of teams do not have, and that's depth. They remind me, and this is a little bit, optimistic or whatever, but they remind me a little bit of the Raptors in 2019, where you could go to the bench and still get like 30 points from some of these guys. And the way I would say is Kobe White has the skill, the potential, and the just the overall skill to be a really good, not a star maybe, but like a really good starting point guard in this NBA. And the Bulls decided, we're going to keep him obviously because we drafted him, but we're going to invest in Lonzo Ball. So someday Kobe White probably won't be. It'll be kind of like a Terry Rozier situation where he kind of like gets out of there and goes somewhere else, signs a decent deal and ends up being that team's starter. But like Kobe White being our seventh guy off the bench or eighth guy off the bench is so useful. It's so like nice. It's like, man, we got a guy who can dominate his matchup off the bench. You know what I mean? Like you put him in against a backup point guard, he can dominate like 9 out of 10 of those backups. So it's really nice to have that depth. And then don't even get me started on Caruso. Caruso is unbelievable. Like just unbelievable. Like
to me, Alex Caruso was one of the biggest pickups for you guys.
Well, this guy is stealing like four steals a game. It's unbelievable. It's like, dude, like if people knew you'd be this good, they would have offered you way more than what we gave. We gave him like what, $12, $15 million a year or something like that.
I think 12. I think 12. Yeah, 12. I think.
Man. That's he's awesome. No, Alex Caruso is awesome. The bench has been playing phenomenal. And you can call me crazy. A lot of people might. I think Lonzo Ball, man, is the MVP of the Bulls. I really do.
I was just gonna get to that. My next question for you about my next thing I kind of wanted to throw at you was Lonzo had a bad game prior to this Magic game. It was not good. He probably had his worst game of the season prior to this game. But this game was a massive rebound for him. He was a plus 22 when he was on the court. Plus 22.
Wow. I didn't even know that. That's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, what was it? He had a bunch of steals, he had rebounds, assists, and he shot like 80 something percent. That's the thing about Lonzo. Lonzo is not a guy who's out there for his stats. He doesn't care about his stats. He doesn't care about he wants to win. No,
and here's the thing, right? His game overall was awesome, but his individual stats here's what they were, right? Mm-hmm. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. But here's the thing, 5 steals in one game for him against the Magic. 5. But overall, I mean, you look at that, right? So he's double digits in points. He's got 6 assists, 4 offensive like he's doing a little bit of everything.
Lonzo, he makes him and LaMelo what they do a lot more than and I'm sure this can be backed up by stats if I found enough. They do these things called what they call hockey assists. People who watch hockey know exactly what I'm talking about, probably.
Yep.
Where it's like there's an extra pass, but like basically he'll throw it. He'll throw it from like his side of the court to another side of the court, get a guy or he sees another guy, and it's the 3-man throw. He doesn't get the assist, but he made an incredible pass. Lonzo does that all the time. He genuinely doesn't. Lonzo doesn't care about his stats. He only cares about matchups because he understands the game of basketball better than 90% of point guards. That's the way I see it. He really understands this game at a high level.
So 20 games in, they're also sitting at 13-7, which is not
we did
bad.
Just lose we lost to the Heat tonight, but it was a close game. So
I think they're playing. They're still. I believe it's the half, right? I think it's at the half.
I thought they ended.
Did it end?
Yep, 3-point loss. They just ended like 20 minutes ago.
But still, the Heat are a top 5 team.
Great team, great, amazing team. So no disrespect to the Heat for sure. Yeah, I agree, John Larson. He doesn't stay healthy. If he does look bigger and stronger this year, though, LaMelo Ball does. I really am excited for him. I think he has the chance, if he can stay healthy, like you said, and continue this pace of shooting, defense, and leading this team to a number 1 seed or a top 3 seed. I think that Lonzo Ball has a really good chance to get that coveted Most Improved Player of the Year award. I think he has that chance.
No, dude, absolutely. He's absolutely in the running for it. But
Mhm.
like you had said before the season even started, the Bulls needed a guy like Lonzo Ball that's not afraid to do a little bit of everything, and it's basically doing whatever the team needs him to do to win. And he's not afraid to do it, which is the right attitude to have in that spot. And I give credit to Lonzo for coming into that organization with that attitude.
He really has, and he yelled at one of the younger guys the other day for not shooting a three, and that to me shows a level of leadership that's saying you're going to take ownership of this team, and you're going to say like I forget who it was, but he basically like he threw it to somebody and they didn't shoot it, they passed it, and he just was like, no, shoot it next time. So like stuff like that I see, and I'm like, you're growing up. You realize you're a high dollar guy. You're not the highest. You're not a max dollar guy, but you are a high dollar player who we paid a lot of money to be a leader on this team. And I think he's embracing that role, and it's really nice to see. It's really nice to see. LeVar, man, he was right, man. He was right. LeVar was right. If you give the son the ball, he will make things happen. And also, Arturas Karnosovas has set him up for success. I mean, you got guys that Lonzo can feed all day long. You got DeMar, Zach, DJJ. You got all these guys that he can just feed and feed and feed. It's a beautiful thing to watch. The Bulls are playing what I would call beautiful basketball. And I agree with John Larson in the chat. Lonzo Ball needs to stay healthy. If Lonzo Ball gets hurt, the Bulls are in trouble. I think that's just a fact.
Well, no, you take that no, it's absolutely true. You take a guy like him off the court who does like all the small things, all those like grit and grimy thing, like you said, like starting off a passing series like that, you get that, you make that good first pass to start off the ball movement, like you take a guy like that off, and
He sets the
going to be
tone.
tough sledding. It's going to be tough.
I remember the Bulls before Lonzo Ball, and passing is infectious. If you look at the Showtime Lakers, the Warriors, and now the Bulls, they have one thing in common. It's that they have a point guard who, when he's in, he gets everybody else passing. So when Lonzo Ball makes an incredible pass, it encourages other people to also make good passes. You flip the ball up the court, and somebody else flips the ball. That is exactly what it is. It's Lonzo Ball is pretty special. And I just think the Bulls have a lot of talent. I think the Bulls have a good chance this year, but we have to stay healthy. That's all I'm going to say about the Bulls anymore. Like that's the key. We got to stay healthy and keep on doing what we're doing.
That is a really good point, though, brought up there.
By John.
Yeah, from John about losing a guy like Lonzo Ball that could really like
mess with the
it could hurt. It could really hurt the team.
Absolutely. I'm excited. This is going to be really good. This is going to be a really good season for the Bulls.
I was so like to close it out with them, they got a few games coming up that they should be able to get back on track. They're JD, they're playing better than I realistically expected them to. Like that, I thought they were going to be improved, but they look really good. That team, the ball movement, the unselfishness that the Bulls have this year is good to see.
And the defensive buy-in, I think, is something that gets talked about a lot too, but it's definitely something that matters. Like how much they want to play defense, especially the new guys who are really setting the tone, like Lonzo and Caruso, really setting the tone on defense. Who is the next game we play? Let's see here.
The next like 4 games, you guys have some games coming up that you could kind of get back on track,
Ooh, Lonzo's going to face his little brother next game. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
So let's stay with basketball, JD, and let's head back. We'll jump back on the pike, back on I-90, and head east into my hometown, into Boston, Massachusetts. The Celtics and Spurs went at it last night. Celtics, unfortunately, came up on the losing end of that, 96-88.
Didn't DeJounte Murray talk some shit too? Something like that?
He did. He was jarring. He was talking. And they had a right to. So I got a bone to pick with the Celtics, man. The inconsistency has been bad this year. You never know. We as Celtic fans never know which Boston team is going to which Celtic team is going to show up, you know?
Absolutely.
We never know which Celtic team is going to show up. And I know so Ime Udoka's system is much different than Brad Stevens's. Much different. There is a lot more ball movement. There's a lot more switching on both ends of the court, offensive and defensive. There's a lot more switching involved. And we're 20 games in, and they're still struggling with it. They're still struggling with the defensive rotations. There are times where underneath the basket is just left wide open for guys. And never mind like underneath the basket, just lanes to the hoop. That's how the Spurs beat them the other night, because the defensive rotation just collapsed in the final 6 minutes of the game. And there were lanes to the hoop, like just easy lanes to the hoop, like one move and the guy would go, whether it was Keldon Johnson or DeJounte Murray. It was just how like when the defense under the hoop collapses, you just drive and it's an easy layup, and you either get, even if you don't make the layup, you're still going to get the call on the contact.
Yeah. High Life said, they don't have a true center. And it's bad when you spent how much money this year on a true center. How much money is Horford making? And how much money is Williams making?
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's a huge deal. Like you're looking at, and Brad Stevens is going to have to evaluate that. He just paid a guy to be a rim protector. And, if that's your main issue, that's definitely an issue. And we talked about it, about Tatum's issues and stuff. So I don't really need to touch on that. We talked about that a couple of podcasts ago. And it's just, they have to figure out what their identity is. You know what I mean? They, like last year, their identity was ISO ball with Tatum. And this year they're trying to pass the ball a lot. They got to figure out what it is. And it's going to be interesting. It's hard to say. Yeah. The Celtics at 10-10, it's hard to say who they actually are. I almost want to wait.
See, that's exactly what I was gonna bring that. You kind of just led me right into we're 20 games into the season, and we still don't know the Celtics' identity.
And that's a problem. See, the Bulls'
identity we still don't know. We still don't know what they are as a team.
Yeah, and you definitely got to know. You definitely got to know. After 20 games, so you got to know exactly like who gets the ball at what moments. And it feels like they don't know still who their main star is. And you know what? Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe Tatum isn't that guy. Maybe it really is Brown, like you said. Maybe you were right about that a couple months ago when you said that. You said that Brown is clearly the better player to you. So I don't know.
I just find that a massive problem that we're 20 games. What's that? A third of the way into the season?
About a fourth, but yeah, it's quite
a quarter of the way into the season, and we still don't know what the team is. What the team has, like, there's no identity to it at all. It's not good. It's not good. They like I said, it's not good. Like they need to, the inconsistency is going to be a serious problem. And if they're going to get stuck in a play-in, like if they hit another stretch like they did last season, where in the middle of the season, they just kind of, throw their hands up and kind of raise the white flag, they're not even going to get into the play-in. Never mind the playoffs. It's not good, man. And allow me to go on a little Celtic rant here for like 2 minutes. Please. Right? You want to know You want to know what the biggest problem with the Celtics is? The biggest problem with the Celtics is the Celtics. It's upper management. They overvalue a lot of these guys, a lot of them, right? The Celtics bench is next to nothing. I'm sorry. Like, there's no help there. There's no two guys on the Celtic bench that stand out and are 1,000% reliable. The Celtics are their own worst enemy sometimes because they had all these picks years ago. They had compiled all these picks and all this stuff, and they could have packaged players and picks to get legitimate superstars here, and they refused to do it.
I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it because it's a fact. And I said it like 3 years ago. I said it like 2 or 3 years ago. This is like one of the first videos I ever made on YouTube talking about sports ever. Kyrie Irving will and did ruin the Celtics culture and chemistry. He came in there. He ruined it. He inflated Jason Tatum's head. He messed with the guard position. Now Brad Stevens doesn't even know how to, or not even Brad Stevens, but the Celtics don't even know how to use the guards anymore. So I really think that just trading for Kyrie Irving brought in a cancer that you're still dealing with. And I'm not saying Kyrie Irving himself is the reason why they're having issues, but just
you're talking the after effects of when effects that he left behind.
Well, Tatum was this guy who was running through a system, and he was so reliant on the system, and he was so good in the system, and he was such a team guy. And now all of a sudden, the last few years, he's been very selfish, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you bring in these LeBron mentality, these Kyrie mentality guys, and you just kind of ruin the locker room. You do. You ruin the locker room. That's what it is. So it's an issue. It definitely is. Your mindset.
And even some of the Celtic fans are starting to say, like High Life he pointed it out. He even said, he goes, at the time being, Tatum is like Kyrie Irving to them. And I hate to say it too, because listen, Tatum can score. He can. I have said this from the start with him. How many times have I said this, JD? It's not Tatum's skill set. It's all in the guy's head. It's Tatum's mentality. That's his own. His mentality is his own worst enemy. He's his own worst enemy. It's becoming more and more clear to me, at least, that Tatum just does not have that mentality to put a team on his back and lead. I don't think he has it in him.
People gotta like you. They gotta rely on you, and not necessarily like you, but they gotta respect you. You know what I mean? And I don't think Tatum is. He's just he came in the league. What was he? 19. He blocks LeBron James. He has a bunch of big moments. He's a game away from. He's 5 points away from the finals. So he has all these big moments. And then you got a guy like Kyrie Irving who came in there and kind of poisoned him. And then he's just like you said, your mentality, your skill set's all there, but your mentality's not there. High Life calls him a diva in the chat. It's hard to argue.
It's getting to that point. It is getting to that. It's getting to that point. And a lot of Celtic fans, if it continues, are probably going to be saying what some of them are saying now, like, we should try and trade him when his value is the highest. And
I think the point that I made, that is a good point. Trade him when the value is the highest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, right now, his value is about as high as it's going to be. And the thing that I said too is the Celtics have always been defined by their team play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Their team. Even when Larry Bird was the guy, he didn't care if Kevin McHale had a 50-point game. It seems like Tatum doesn't even like when Brown has a good game, or he doesn't thrive when Brown has a good game. It's like you got to be like Lonzo Ball, where you're willing to take only 8 shots in a game sometimes. Like when a guy's hot or a matchup there, you got to be willing to take less shots. But I don't think Tatum is. I think Tatum wants to get his stats, and I think he wants to make sure he's
more concerned about his brand and his stat line than he is about winning. Seriously, that's a
big problem.
I hate to say it, because that's not how the Celtics usually are. You know, Tatum is more concerned with his brand and his stat line and making he's more here's the thing. Tatum's more concerned with making the All-Star game than winning an NBA title.
And that's a big deal. That's a big problem too. It's yeah, and he thinks he's Kobe. But Kobe, before Kobe became Kobe, Kobe had a few rings. That's all I would say. Is Kobe had a few rings before Kobe became Kobe. So Tatum needs to
it's and he's so far off of that though. It's not even funny. Like Kobe had that ice in his veins mentality. You know what I mean? And it's just Tatum just ain't there. He's just not there. And here's the thing too. It's how long are you willing to wait for that? As you know what I mean? How like you can't wait forever for it because then his value is going to fall off a cliff and you're going to be able to get nothing if you try and trade him.
Yeah, you have to decide whether he's a superstar or whether he's just a guy who's a good player, but he's not going to bring you to the promised land. It's the thing. John Larson said something that's interesting. He said Tatum has to have a better player with him. He needs motivation. Well, I would argue this. Al Horford is a pretty good player, and
Jaylen Brown's a pretty good player, and Tatum hates Brown,
and they don't even play good together. So the way I would see it is you got to buy in if you're Jason Tatum. Everyone's got to buy into the system, and they got to make it work and let the chips fall. I'm
gonna say it right now. I got a feeling the locker room doesn't like JT either.
Well, he even said he didn't care if he was traded. He said that before. It was
you know what I mean? I'm going to say it right. I'm going to throw it out there right now. From what I'm seeing on the court and just the body language, I don't think guys like JT. I don't think they like him. I'm just going to throw it out there.
And that's on him. That's definitely on him because you have to be the leader of your team. You don't have to be liked, but you have to be respected. And if they're not playing well, something tells me he's not respected. So.
Yeah, no doubt, dude.
Trade you Vogel for JT. Yeah, see, this is a typical Laker fan right here, Benjamin. He goes, "I'll trade you my coach for your superstar." That's the kind of stuff. I'll trade you a second-round pick for Steph Curry. How about that? And it'll be all right.
Yeah, I took a dump today and it was purple and gold.
Oh man. Didn't Smart call him a ball hog? Dude, Smart was trashing both of them. Smart was trashing Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum I think it was like 2 weeks ago. He was saying that, he wasn't trashing him. He was saying that, as a team, we need to be less selfish. We need to stop taking shots that are stupid.
Yeah. So here's just to end it, to wind it down, and then we'll go back to football and preview in the next games coming up. The biggest pet peeve that I have with JT right now is that as soon as the Celtics get down, he feels like he's got to ignore the rest of his team and just play hero ball. And I hate that. I can't stand that in a player. Use your team. Use the guys around you.
The Celtics have won as many titles as any, as many championships as any franchise in the history of basketball, and they've never done that. They haven't done that. They've never had an ISO ball player. Never. Not in the history of the Celtics. With the Paul Pierce era, they were not ISO ball. The Isaiah Thomas era, they were not ISO ball.
It's never been ISO ball, and Tatum wants to do that because he's only concerned about his own stats.
That's not who the Celtics are. That's not literally who they've ever been, ever. So I don't like it either, actually. I think you're going against the identity of your entire city, let alone your team. And that's definitely a problem. You might want to look at moving on from a guy like that.
High life. I would trade. So the chat's going off tonight. That's awesome. I love it. I love to see the participation in the live broadcast. It's awesome. So one of the guys that I've been yelling about all season, I would trade Tatum and some picks to get Damian Lillard here. I would trade Damian Lillard and Jaylen Brown. I think would be a scary duo.
I think that they could be good. I think that they could be good. Are they good enough to win the East? I don't know. I don't know about that. If you're going to trade,
they'll be good enough to get to the Eastern Conference Championship.
Probably
for sure.
This is what I would say about if you get Lillard and you get rid of Tatum. I I would want this because Lillard. It's not like Lillard. It's not like the team has a bunch of leverage with Lillard anyway. They haven't won much, and he's getting old. So I would say screw the picks, 1-for-1, Tatum for Lillard, and then I would like that because then you could maybe potentially draft a guy over the next couple years
to help out too, to be that third guy. Yeah,
I think that would be productive. I just don't think like Lillard plus picks, or rather Tatum plus picks for Lillard, especially with Lillard. What is he, 32? I mean,
he's low 30s. He's in his 30s now. Yep.
I mean, because Tatum's youth alone is values. Tatum to me has higher trade value than Lillard does. So I would definitely try to. If I was the Celtics, I would at least call about that if they haven't already. They probably have.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's head back into the Windy City. So this time we're gonna hop back on board the Up Yours Tennessee Titans Express and take off from Boston and land back in Chicago. Let's talk a little bit of Thanksgiving football with you, the Bears and the Lions. The Bears and Lions. Just give me your thoughts on that game, because like if you guys lost to the Lions, I was going to come on here for at least 35 minutes and just torture you about it.
The Sports Figure had a great tweet that that literally like magnified exactly how I was feeling the whole time during the entire game. Like I was just like, please don't. It was like literally he tweeted, "Please don't lose to the Lions. Please don't lose to the Lions. Please don't lose to the Lions. Please don't lose to the Lions." And we didn't lose to the Lions, so thank God we did not lose to the Lions. And that's like there was people either in the chat or in the comments or something from one of the VODs that we did. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was on Twitter, but they were arguing that they're like, oh, the Lions are a good team. They're going to come back. No, for multiple reasons, we cannot lose to the Lions. One, they're 0-8. We cannot lose to an 0-8 team. That would be detrimental.
They're like 0-10, I think.
They're like 0-9, 0-10 or something like that. They are the worst team, one of the worst teams in the
They're
history of football.
0-10-1. So at the time being, they were 0-9-1.
Oh God, that's terrible. And two, we're the Bears. They're the Lions. That's another thing. So Bears fans trying to just lower our value. Like, well, if we do lose to them, it'll be okay. Shut up. No, that's not okay. It'll never, ever be okay to lose to the Detroit Lions. Ever.
It'll never be okay to lose to the Lions for anybody. Never okay.
Even when they were 13-3 that one crazy year, it's just not acceptable. We're not allowed to do that. That's just no. Period. Anyway, so besides that, I'm glad we won. The Red Rocket pulled through. He had a couple good throws in there, it was a crazy game. I really did think we were going to lose. I thought we were going to lose the whole time, and I was terrified.
Oh, hey. So somebody brought it up earlier. It's imagine Pittsburgh tied with them. They couldn't beat the that
hurts too.
That's bad. That's bad. That's not good. But you guys did beat them. So no Justin Fields in that game.
Nope.
I will give them this. The Bears were beat up in that. In that game. They were beat up, but still it's that was a tough one, dude. What's up?
No Khalil Mack and no Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Broken ribs for Justin Fields or cracked ribs or something like that. So he'll be out a few weeks. And that's okay. You know what I mean? That's okay. I don't want him in this offensive line anyway. It's better than him dying. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like every week. And this is the thing, as much crap as people talk about Matt Nagy, that's exactly why Matt Nagy didn't want Justin Fields in there. That's exactly why. What we just saw.
He did the right thing by not playing him. He did. He's like, I'm not going to get the kid. Right. I'm not going to get the kid hurt. He absolutely did the right thing by not playing him.
In pre-snap, Andy Dalton is 10 times better than Justin Fields. Pre-snap. Obviously, post-snap, it's not even close. Justin Fields is way better. But pre-snap, Andy Dalton knows where the blitzes are coming. So he's not going to take he's not going to stand there and just get blasted. And that's the thing. That's what Matt Nagy was scared of. He's scared of Justin Fields cracking his ribs. And guess what happened? Justin Fields cracked his ribs. So that's
remember I had said a few, like, I think it was like episode 16. I was like, maybe Nagy's doing a lot of this to protect the kid and try and not get him like murdered. Yeah.
Well, that was part of it, and I think that now, I'm okay with everything the way it panned out, because the reason why I'm okay with it the way it panned out is because Fields got a lot of good experience this year. He had a few good plays, few good games, even a few losses that were pretty good, and our young guys got some experience. But now we can kind of like gift wrap this year. It's over. Probably only going to win like 5-6 games. It's going to be one of the top 10 pick team this year. Draft an offensive lineman in the first 3 rounds. So we're done. You know what I mean? We're okay. Like, this season's over. We barely beat the Lions, so we're definitely done. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to the playoffs. That's not happening. High Life said something. I don't want to move on too fast, but he said something I do want to address. Should I address it? All right.
Was it this one?
Yeah, exactly. So I've talked about that a lot in the last couple months. I've talked about Matt Nagy, especially on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter at JD_rants, I've been talked about that a lot, about Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, and a lot of people. There's blame to go around for everybody, but here's the thing: there's also kudos to go around for everyone. Okay, I'm going to start with the bad, or start with the good, and then talk about the bad really quick with Matt Nagy.
Go for it.
So Matt Nagy, he's been to the playoffs 2 times in the last 3 years with a roster that was deteriorating. A guy so Kyle Long, not a lot of people remember this. Kyle Long was one of the best offensive linemen in the entire league, and then he just left the Bears. He got injured once, and then he basically retired. And then once his contract was up, he came back and went to the Chiefs because F the Bears. You know what I mean? And that is Matt Nagy had to deal with that. So that's another offensive lineman issue. And then Leno sucks. I don't know why we've had him on the roster for 6 years. There's been a bunch of offensive line issues. Matt Nagy inherited a bunch of crap, and he still brought the Bears to the playoffs twice. Now, that's the good parts with Matt Nagy. The bad parts is, here, I'll break those down. He is the most wishy-washy Bears coach I've ever seen. He is so inconsistent with the media. He needs to seriously do some Bill Belichick research. He needs to seriously learn how to be stoic and not talk so much. He talks as much as I do, and that is a problem. Like, he literally, he has his foot in his mouth half the time. So media-wise, he's a D- coach, and that's why a lot of times people think that he needs to be fired. I don't know if he needs to be fired. Not in the locker room. I think the locker room, John Larson said it, there are 8 good coaches in the league and the rest can be replaced. And I'd say 24 of the
I don't even think there's 8. I wouldn't even go that – seriously, I would not even go that high. I would not even – and I'm not even joking. I would not even go that high. I would say 5 to 6 at the 5 at the most. 5 or 6 at the most.
Belichick, Andy Reid, I'd say Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. Tomlin's in there. Vrabel, and I would throw. If we're not counting this year, Pete Carroll in the last couple of seasons.
Pete Carroll before 2018. Yeah, I'll give you that. He was a good coach. Maybe he can bring it back. I'm not sure, but now,
not in the last couple of seasons. Not in the last couple of seasons. But outside of those 4. No, McCarthy's not a
Kevin
good
Stefanski's good, but I don't know because
Mike McCarthy's not a good coach. That's just the talent. That's just the talent around him. He's not a good coach. He is terrible with clock management. Awful.
This is the thing. There's 24 coaches, probably maybe 25 or 26 that are adequate, maybe, but they have issues, and I question things about him. And I think that Matt Nagy definitely fits that category. Is that I think he has the ability to be a good coach, but this is what I would say. This is what I would say regarding Matt Nagy's job. If they decided to fire Matt Nagy, I would not freak out, because I think that a new voice in the room sometimes could help. especially if it's one that maybe Justin Fields clicks with more. I'm not sure. I don't know how Justin Fields or the defensive guys feel about Matt Nagy. I think that's really important. I think the players will ultimately decide who the coach is. If they don't like Matt Nagy, if they're sick of his crap, he's gone. If they do like him, if they rally around him towards the end of the year, he'll come back. That's how I feel about it. The bigger issue to me, a lot of people talk about is Ryan Pace. But I could talk about that for a while. Do we have any more topics? I was going to say I could break that one down really quick, but I don't want to get too off topic.
No, go for it. I was just going to ask you about we did the preview for the I was just going to kind of close it out with the preview for the Bears and Cardinals. Okay. If you want to break something down, dude, go for it. All for it. Go for it.
All right. So with Ryan Pace, a lot of people have talked about this too. Ryan Pace, just like Matt Nagy, is a mixed bag. They're mixed bags. Is Ryan Pace a good GM? I would argue overall, no, he's not. And here's why. It has nothing to do with his talent acquisition. His talent acquisition is about as good as anybody else in the NFL. But his financial management, which is literally your only real job at the end of the day when you're the GM, is awful. It's absolutely terrible. His understanding of the salary cap is that of a third grader. So that for that reason, Ryan Pace should be fired. Absolutely.
Dirt.
He's a dirt. He's an absolute dirt when it comes to signing people and making sure, like, for instance, the Quinn pickup. That was absolutely foolish. You spent $13 million on pass rushing when you already spent $50 million on pass rushing. It made no sense. And he's an old pass rusher, Robert Quinn was. He's past his prime. So it was absolutely foolish. And now Robert Quinn's playing really good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here like mad that Robert Quinn has 5 sacks. But at the same time, we can't afford that. If we had to pay Justin Fields right now, we couldn't.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Like, you're an idiot. You're one of the dumbest.
Or go out and get him if you have to. Maybe put some veteran linemen around him. You couldn't do that either.
Can't do any of that. So your flexibility is terrible. So now this year, this offseason, you have to gut the whole roster. That's not a good GM. If at any moment in your GMing, you have to gut your entire roster just to make it work, you messed up. You're not a good GM. So by what I would say about Ryan Pace is, yes, he discovered Jalen Johnson, Roquan Smith, Cody Whitehair, David Montgomery, bunch of good players, no question. His talent acquisition is pretty good, but his understanding of the salary cap is elementary and foolish. So that is what I say about the Bears front office and their coaching staff. They're a complete mixed bag. They have good things about them, and they have some really, really dumb, bad things about them. So that's all I have to say about the Bears. As far as the matchup is, I'm gonna look up something. Is Kyler Murray playing? I'm going to look that up. Because that matters a lot. Next week. Let's see. Kyler Murray. What do you think about the Cardinals-Bears game next week?
I just wanted to get your so I think that's going to be tough for you guys. I think if without Justin Fields, you're missing that dynamic, the dynamicism, if that's a word, in the offense.
Right.
Like, you know what you're gonna get with Andy Dalton. It's a pocket passer who's, there's not going to be any. I don't think you're going to see much mix up with the playbook. You're not going to have to. Justin Fields is a dual threat, and you have to game plan for the dual threat. Andy is not. He is a pure stand in the pocket kind of guy. You're not gonna. It could get real ugly real quick. That's what I like.
What works in our favor is that
it's come to play.
It's not Kyler Murray. Thank God. Kyler Murray. No, it's Kyler Murray. High life. Kyler Murray is still injured, and they're not going to rush him back, according to that report. I don't. It could be false, but it's early in the. Well, no, it's tomorrow. No, it's next week. It's next week. So next week, yeah. So it's 8 days away, maybe 10 days away, or something like that. So we'll see. No, it'd be 8 days away. Yeah. So it's 8 days away. We'll see what happens. If it's Kyler Murray, you already know. You already know this game is over. This game is it's going to be a slaughter. But
Yeah,
if it's
if
Colt
Murray's
McCoy,
if
like,
Murray's playing, if they put a flak jacket on him, you know what I mean, like the flak jackets on him, you know, the QBs wear those big flak jackets. If he if if he plays it, that's going to be a tough day. That's going to be a real tough day. Because let's
especially
be
if
honest, right? I feel bad for the Bears defense this year because they are literally doing everything in their power to keep this team in the game. And by the third quarter, they're just gassed. They're just gassed.
That's an issue. It definitely is. And you have to understand too that it's from what I just talked about earlier. Next year, these guys, you won't have this anymore. So I'm worried as a Bears fan. I really am, because we are going to have to gut this roster. So you're going to have Roquan Smith, probably Khalil Mack, and a bunch of maybe a couple of the guys that we probably keep Jalen Johnson. But then a bunch of other, you're going to have to get rid of a lot of guys. So with that being said, what is our future? What is the future? It's very young. It's a very young future for the Bears. That's
like,
what
I don't think the Bears are going to be able to keep Hicks. I don't think he's going to be a Chicago Bear next year because of the salary cap and because of the situation that they're in. I think he's all but gone. And Robert Quinn is probably, they're going to try and do everything in their power to move him as well, move that money so they don't have to pay that. They're going to be in a tough spot, man. They're going to be in a very tough spot.
What's frustrating to me is I think that they're absolutely foolish. I think Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy sat in a room in the offseason this summer, like early in the summer, and they said to themselves, "Oh, we're going to be even though we have a rookie quarterback and Andy Dalton and the worst offensive line in the league, we're going to be a contender this year, guys. Let's double down on our defensive line." What kind of stupid? Did you really believe that? Like, I just can't even believe they believed that. Like, I didn't believe that as a fan. I'm supposed to be a fanatic. Fan is short for fanatic. I didn't even believe that with the roster we had. So, in my opinion, the reason why Bill Belichick is better than 90% of the coaches is because he has realistic expectations for his guys. He puts them in position to do a good job and do their job, and he doesn't expect too much from them. He doesn't say, "Oh, well, you're gonna reach your potential this year." No, Bill Belichick says, "This is what you can do. Do it." And the Bears are like, "Well, I hope that this guy is good. I hope that we'll make the Super Bowl." It's such a foolish way to be. It's very foolish as a GM to think that way. That's all I can say about that. It's very foolish.
Yeah, no doubt. So prediction, Diddy. What do you think? What do you think for next week for your Bears there? What do you think for a score? Do you think they're going to be able to keep pace, or what do you got?
I think the Cardinals will win. I don't know about 20 plus there, High Life, but I think the Cardinals will win. If it's Colt McCoy, I think it'll be a relatively close game, but I think that the Cardinals have better coaching than us, and that's saying a lot because Cliff Kingsbury isn't necessarily like an overwhelmingly good coach, but I think he's better than Matt Nagy. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's better than him. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals will win this game. I'd probably like 20-10. Maybe 21 to 14 or something like that. Maybe 9-21. I could see the Bears not scoring very much. This Cardinals defense is still good. They're still stacked. So I don't see them scoring.
That offensive line that Chicago has is a mess. And the crazy part is it started off pretty serviceable. They weren't too bad at the beginning of the season, the first 4 games. At least the interior of the line was serviceable at the beginning of the year, but man, the wheels have just fallen off of that unit. They've just it's gotten bad, man. Like it has. Like they Chicago, the Bears know exactly what they have to go after in the draft. They need to put some guys in front of Fields so he doesn't get killed back there.
They do. And if they didn't get rid of Matt Nagy, I wouldn't lose my mind. If they want to give him one more year, I'm really not going to lose my mind. A lot of Bears fans might, but I'm not going to. I think that he deserves at least one more year, to be honest, because he made the playoffs a few times. If he didn't make the playoffs at all in his short tenure with the Bears, fire him. But you've shown that you've been able to – he won the division once. You've shown you can win the division in the North. That's a really, really big deal. So I think we can keep him on one more year. That's what I would say. If you hold a gun to my head and tell me, like, do you want Matt Nagy for one more year? I'd probably say yes. Unless you have a perfect replacement. Unless you're telling me Jim Harbaugh is coming out of,
That's we could do a whole segment on that too. And it's just like you just hit it on the head. You can't get rid of him if you don't have a succession plan.
Exactly. You have to
because that's not smart either.
It's about as smart as doubling down on your pass rush when you don't have an offensive line and a rookie quarterback. That's about as smart.
Yeah, no doubt. But you got anything else, my dude? You got anything else?
Man. Oh man, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing show. Wow, I can't wait for this season, man. Or rather this weekend. It's tomorrow. It's gonna be an interesting day for sure.
There's a lot of good football, I think, going to go on tomorrow. I think we're going to get us a lot of good games. Hopefully your Bulls can get back on track. I know they had a good game against the Heat tonight. That was a close L there. Game. Yeah, close game. But once again, the Heat are a top 4, top 5 team. That's a good basketball team there. Oh, yeah. Jimmy Butler and company they play their asses off. That team's no joke.
Make it to the finals again. They could easily, yeah. There's no question. They're a good team. So if we're gonna lose, I'm glad we lost by 3.
But that's what I mean. It showed fight that so clearly they were right with them the whole game. You know,
I was listening to it and they were up earlier. So I don't know what happened in the fourth, but it happens.
Hopefully my Celtics can right the ship and get some things worked out, because if they continue the path that they're going and the inconsistency, it's not going to be good for them. So they got to work that out. Hopefully the Bears can get, hopefully they can at least put a good showing on next weekend when they get the Cardinals. Hopefully they can keep it close and give us a good basketball game. But that's all we got for you guys on episode 19 of the I-90 Sports Podcast, guys. Once again, special shout out to Titan Anderson. Big congratulations to him on the new little guy, the new member of Titans Nation, arriving soon. Appreciate him and his for his time as well. Thanks for coming on the show to him. And we're going to be working something out where one, if not both of us, can get on his show and kind of talk about the Patriots and just do some post game stuff. But that's all we got for you today. Once again, special thanks to Titan Anderson for coming on the show. Appreciate his time. And the link for his I will put the link to his channel, guys, either in the description of this video or in the comments, so you guys can go and check him out. He's another member of the sports broadcast community. That dude is a diehard Titan fan too. He is that guy bleeds two-tone blue. I give him a lot of credit. He sticks with that team through thick and thin. And it's the way you should. You know what I mean? He's a true fan. You know, through thick and thin, good or bad. He is like a diehard Tennessee Titan fan. And you always, no matter what the team is, though, you always got to respect that. Respect the dudes. The dudes that stick by their teams through thick and thin are worth the watch and worth the follow. But for anybody listening on iHeartRadio, we greatly appreciate that, guys. This podcast is going up on iHeart. And JD, can you drop the I-90 channel in there where they can watch all the clips and the the snipped up version of the show? So for those of you listening on iHeartRadio, and anybody listening or watching on the playback here on YouTube, there is a second channel. My guy here, JD, has the I-90 Sports Talk, right? That's what it's called, right?
Yes, sir. I-90 Sports Talk. That's the channel. And if you are interested in specific topics or something that you want to share, like a segment that you want to share, that's the channel to go to. I cut them up. I add a little background music and make it look real nice. And basically, you Yeah, just that's the channel to go if you want just specific segments for sure.
So JD's channel, the I-90 Sports Talk, it's basically the snipped up, edited version of the show. So
Yes.
if you are looking for a specific topic, every segment in the show gets snipped up, clipped up, and edited to its own video. So that's the channel. If you guys want to go there and just listen, if you want to listen to one segment at a time, you can subscribe to that channel. The link will be in the link will be in the live chat. I think JD just dropped it. That's called I-90 Sports Talk. Once again, guys, me and JD couldn't, like, we say it all the time, man. We can't do this without you guys, the fans of this channel. This thing has gone from about 80 views up to about 250 now, and we're only 18. We're only 19 episodes in, so that's
Amazing.
because of you guys, the fans, and like me and JD, like we couldn't do it without you guys. It's you guys are the ones that watch and listen, and it's definitely greatly appreciated. But I hope everybody has a good weekend. Hopefully the Patriots and Bears win their next game. Pats play tomorrow, Bears next weekend. Bears already got the W, I should say. They won it. They beat the Lions. So hopefully, Pats Nation, we can get our W tomorrow. And that's all we got for you. Once again, we love you guys. We appreciate you. God bless America. Go Pats. What do you got, JD?
Bear down. One more question though, really quick for you. Bear down. But I would say, are you gonna play Call of Duty after this, my man?
Absolutely.
All right, brother. I'm going live on Cheerio Plays with Bobby and me. Play some Call of Duty, brother. But yeah, bear down. And here's to episode 20, man. Cheers. Let's go.
Episode 20 coming up. Once again, guys, we love y'all. We thank you all for your continued support. This show wouldn't happen if it wasn't for all of you guys. We love y'all. We're out. Bear down and go Pats. God bless America. We're out of here. Let's go.
Hell yeah. God bless you guys.